Today is day 62 of my 100 Days of Gratitude, and just a few housekeeping issues. One, video number 60 I posted, and then Keith came home the next day and said it says it's blocked, which I didn't understand. So I went on, and I didn't have any messages or anything, and I could see it fine because I was logged in. But he said, yeah, it says something about like copyright infringement. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? So I went back, and the whole video talks about how hard it is for me to know that I'm not going to be a mom. And so I showed a little clip from the Mindy Project of when she finds out she's pregnant and her boyfriend puts his hand on her belly, and how that just destroyed me. So apparently I can't show a 15-second clip. So sorry, NBC. Next time, feel free to send me a message. Anyway, so that's that. Secondly, last night I had a scan, and I don't typically like tweet about it or Instagram about it, or maybe Instagram on my private account, but I kind of equate it back to when I was driving to get my G2 and I told the entire world, and then right before I drove, my mom said, like, you've told everybody, like, you better pass this. And I thought, oh my God, you're right, which made me even more nervous. So I'm trying something different. I don't know if I'm going to regret it or not, but I had a big scan last night. I find out my treatment's on Tuesday. So I see my oncologist on Tuesday. Every time I have a scan and then see her after, Keith and I can barely wait for that door to open for us to say, like, what did it say? Like, how's the scan? Am I stable? And every time she says, yes, if you're not stable, I will call you. And so it's this weird, like, I had to scan last night, and then it's this weird, I don't know how to explain it, but it's this weird, like, I'm waiting until Tuesday because then I know I'll be fine. But then, like, every time my phone rings and the hospital calls me, like, weekly, easily, for other stuff, like appointments or questions or whatever. So every time the phone rings, I freak out. And then when I see it's the hospital, I freak out. And so, like, until Tuesday after my appointment and I find out I'm stable, I'm going to be losing my mind. So just FYI, not 1 second will go by between now and Tuesday at 9 o'clock between me freaking out, unless she calls and tells me that it's spread, and then I'll freak out for a different reason. So I wanted to explain that. Thirdly, I hate needles. I think I've made that quite clear. And last night, I have seen the same tech for the last 2.5 years. I consider myself extremely lucky. I really depend on that routine. And he is, oh my gosh, he's out of this world. He's unreal. He's just kind, and he knows how scared I am. And I've had other techs come out, and I kind of say, like, oh, nothing against you. I'm sure you're great, but I don't know if I should say his name, but is the other person here. And so he comes out with a smile on his head, and I usually apologize. And, oh, no, he's just wonderful. But, I shouldn't say but. And last night, my veins were not cooperating. So he got it in the vein that he normally goes to, and I use freezing cream. And so he got it in, and he said, don't you dare move. And so I didn't move. I got on the CT scan, no problem. Your hands go up over your head so that they can get a clear view of your abdomen and chest. And it went up, and he attached it's called I think a spring coil or something. So it's where the contrast comes in, which is what kind of lights up the cancer. So this kind of heavy tubing comes in and is attached. Well, the weight of it ripped it right out while I was on the CT. So I felt it, and I said, I think something just happened. And so there was squirting blood, and so anyway, 4 IVs later, lots of crying. It was pretty brutal. My arm is very beat up, and I need, I'm having a good hot flash. I'm steaming up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but I need blood work on Tuesday, and I don't know what they're going to do. And on top of it, he ended up going into a vein where there was no EMLA, so I felt every fucking prick. Holy shit. Sorry about that. It was brutal. Anyway, so on to the gratitude now that I've kind of filled everybody in. And I will repost day 60 I just have to edit it, obviously, and take that NBC part out of it. So you're going to have to, hopefully you see this video to then watch that video. I was thinking about, it's one of our really good friends' anniversary today, and it's their 4-year anniversary. And so I was chatting with her today, and, we were talking like, I can't believe it's been 4 years, and Keith and I have been together almost 11 and a half. And, yeah, I just started thinking about the couples in my life, and I grew up with 2 parents who, this is a perfect example of the kind of relationship my parents had. When Hershey Hugs came out, so there's the kisses and then the hugs. And when Hershey Hugs came out, we weren't a big, like, treat family. Like, there weren't a lot of, like, chocolate and that kind of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, there was chips and ice cream here and there, but we weren't big, and, like, there wasn't, like, a candy stash or anything. Anyway, so, like, to have chocolate in the house was pretty rare. And when those hugs came out, my dad bought my mom a bag of hugs. And on the same day, my mom bought my dad a bag of kisses. Like, that is the epitome of their relationship. And so I grew up in a household that was just awesome that way. I just saw a fantastic relationship, and that's how I grew up. And then when Keith and I started dating, his parents had been together for decades. And when we got married, they would have had Keith's dad been alive, I think it would have been 46 years. My aunt and uncle have been together. They celebrated, how many days before? 22 days before our wedding, they celebrated their 50th anniversary. My grandparents were the same. And now my friends are amazing examples for us. And, you learn from, I've said this before, like, it takes a village, and I think you learn from your surroundings. And I think Keith and I are a pretty fantastic couple, if I do say so myself, and we just have really great communication, and I'm just so lucky. And I think I can attribute some of our success, I'll call it, to his parents, to my parents, aunt and uncle, his aunts and uncles, same thing. Like, they have amazing relationships, and we really try to kind of mirror that. And we're far from perfect. We have our issues. I'm not trying to insinuate that it's been bliss. I think with 2 cancer diagnoses, there's some stress. And knowing that Keith's going to be a widower at some point in the future, there's some stress, like, I'm not trying to insinuate that we're perfect, but damn, do we try hard. And he's just, I've talked about him before, how incredible he obviously is, but yeah, I'm just really grateful for the examples that I've had in my life to kind of show what a strong marriage is, a strong relationship is. My brothers have really good relationships too, with wonderful spouses, and same with Keith's sister. They've been together 25 years this year. We're just surrounded by it, and that's pretty, I don't want to say unheard of, but it's pretty amazing to be surrounded by that, and then to start having your friends mimic that as well, or yeah, it's just awesome. So today I'm grateful for all the couples in my life. Sorry I was a little long-winded today. Obviously had a little bit to say. Have a great day. I'm feeling better, sleeping a little bit more. This CT scan scared the hell out of me, to be totally honest. So hopefully hold our breath until Friday, and hopefully it's just like my G2 and I pass with flying colors. Talk to you tomorrow.